evidence the Prophet's saying.
Got a hadith for that.
Bikru to sta'dhan. And I'm saying it to you in Arabic. Yeah, a bikru to sta'dhan. Which mentioned
what I need you to do is like later, like show me a link or something because I need that actually.
No problem. Which is why Shawkani and others have said that.
You can just say it. We'll catch it on
anyway.
camera.
Look,
just say the reference.
He's already said.
I've just said it. So fine. So that's number one. Number two, we've said now, harming is not okay. So someone can ask the question which you did and I didn't answer it. So let me answer it now. You said, how do you determine if the person is able or capable for sexual intercourse? The Prophet Muhammad said in another hadith, he said, "Man tatabbaba wa lam yakun bit-tibbi ma'rufan fa asaba nafsan fa huwa dhamin." Whoever pretends to be a doctor and he's not actually a doctor, and then he harms somebody, then he is accountable. The Quran also says, "Fas'alu ahli dhikri in kuntum la ta'lamun." Go and ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. Meaning here that Islam gives rights to doctors. And specialists.
Nothing to do with what I just said.
Of course it does. Let me tell you why.
Was Muhammad a doctor?
Let me explain what I'm saying. Because the question of harm, especially if we talk about physical harm, it seems to me to be a medicinal issue, right? So the question of, okay, if a person, like for example, she's 50, let's say in this country the consent is 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
All right. You are maybe like 21 years old, right? 22, something like that.
I'm 27, mate.
All right, you look young, which is very, very nice, yeah? A strapping young man like yourself, you know.
Please don't hit on me.
No,
I am not gay.
Okay, no problem. I'm not hitting on. If that's how you interpret hitting on, that's fine.
I'm joking.
Okay, no problem. No worries. I'm trying to pay you a compliment.
I know. It's a bit mean-spirited.
No problem. You don't need to apologize. All I'm going to say is that a man like yourself, right? You, for example, can have intercourse with a 16-year-old in this country, okay? Now, this 16-year-old might be emaciated. This individual might be malnourished, might be weak. You might be able to grab her like this and then the collarbones fall off, right? This might be a weak individual. Now, Islam would say, although it's legally possible for you and, I'm not going to say me, but just anybody to have... let me put it another way, right? You've got a 100-year-old woman.
Right.
There's no law that prevents me to have intercourse with a 100-year-old. But once again, if I go to the care homes and wait outside and and then just, no, honestly, and then I get,
would a 100-year-old know what sex is?
Yeah.
Okay, so they'll be they'll be able to comprehend what sex is.
Yeah.
They would know what marriage is.
Fine.
A 6-year-old girl wouldn't know what marriage is. A 9-year-old girl wouldn't know what sex was.
No, let me
explain. Aisha was playing with dolls.
Okay, now hold on. You're going from one thing to another. You're going from all I'm saying to you, the paradigm of Islam says this: if you have intercourse with a 15-year-old, 14-year-old who is before the age of consent, but she's voluptuous and big hips and ready for action, where there's no harm. But then when you have sex with a 99-year-old and you do it with her one time, she drops dead and goes to the graveyard, Islam would say actually one of them is more morally incorrect than the other. And
Islam would say that silence is a consent. You could have sex with the old woman and you could have sex with a 15-year-old.
No, it wouldn't.
And in fact, it also says in your hadith that anybody younger than 15 is a child.
No, listen. If by having sex, no, Islam would say if by having sex with a 95-year-old woman or 80-year-old woman, you're going to cause her considerable harm and or injury, which you would agree with, right? That such a thing would not be allowed in Islam. I'm saying the same thing applies to women who are making their transition to puberty. Do you understand the Islamic concept now? So although legally, for example, if I wanted to have a marriage contract with a 95-year-old, I can. I mean, it's going to be valid. Now, the thing is, it might be valid, but the rights now that I'm going to be owed in a normal marriage contract are not going to be the same. I can't say, the angels are going to be cursing you if you don't give me intercourse every night the way I like it, yeah? So, do you understand?
So explain to me why Muhammad didn't follow these principles, because he married
I'm saying that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the one who established those principles.
Hear what I'm saying? She had sex with her at 9 years old. By the way, if you look in history, when 9-year-old girls or people, even a bit older than like 13, when they were pregnant, they would die. So your God was okay with your prophet having sex with a child who could potentially die.
He said himself, and he's a man of his word. He said, when we're done with Islam, we move to Christianity. I'm saying, fine, he doesn't mind, because he doesn't. But what I'm saying to you is, all I'm saying to you is as follows. That, you said these principles were established by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do you understand this?
According to who?
Now, according to all the fuqaha, according to the usuliyun.
According to men who came hundreds of years later who didn't even know your prophet.
Okay, no problem. So,
what do you mean no problem? So your religion doesn't come from Muhammad, it doesn't come from Allah, it comes from people who existed hundreds of years later.
No, but what I'm saying is, why that's important though, what's your name again?
My name's John.
John.
Yeah, John.
So John, the reason why this is still important is because these individuals are not affected by Western apologetics or liberalism because they came way before.
I'm not even talking about Western apologetics.
I understand that.
God.
No, what I'm saying. Hold on,
I'm questioning your God's morality.
What I'm saying to you is this. Yeah. I am saying to you clearly that those scholars that came before time, it wouldn't have been socially unacceptable for them to make that proclamation in their times. So they had no motivation to lie upon the Prophet Muhammad in that manner. In fact, some of their opinions, if we had brought them to the public, would be seen as aberrational to say the least. The point I'm making to you is that yes, there has been a group of scholars that have interpreted the religion of Islam in the way that I've just said. But
what stage of consent is on then? What would you consider it?
There isn't an age of consent in Islam.
So why is it there's a hadith that's saying anybody who's younger than 15 is a child?
Okay, so the Malikis, for example, that's the upper limit, not the higher limit. Right. So in other words, for the Malikis, there's a difference of opinion here. But for example, if you look at all four madhabs, the Shafi'i, the Malikis, the four madhabs of Islam, the Hanafis and who else? Who did I mention?
Hanbali, is it no, that's Salafi.
And the Hanbalis, right? If you look at all those, they have minimum and maximum ages. In fact, for example, Ibn Qudama mentions, the minimum age is 9 years old. You can't be an adult. You cannot even be an adult before 9. That's the Shafi'i view and that's the Hanbali view. So
that's actually more wicked than what your prophet's saying.
No,
because your prophet's basically saying anybody who's younger than 15 is a child. But this guy Hanbali is basically saying this.
No, let me explain. Do you want to speak properly or not? All right, okay, fine. So what I'm saying to you is this, is that in Islam, certain signs have to be in place in order for someone to be considered an adult.
Right.
Now there's a difference between taklif, when you'll be morally accountable in Islam, and because there's a hadith that says, what do you call it, rufi al-qalim an thalath, and one of them is that as-sabiyu hatta yahlub, that the pen has been lifted on 3 people. So there's an eschatological dimension, which is that God doesn't hold to account children.
The pen has been, what do you mean the pen that Allah has an eternal that's next to him? And that's
no, this is more of a metaphoric expression. The pen has been lifted meaning that they're not accountable, right? So the pen has been lifted on 3 sets of people. One of them is the young one until they become pubescent. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, you can be pubescent but not fit for marriage. That's what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying as soon as someone does puberty, they're ready for sex and marriage.
But there's hadith that say her silence equals her consent.
Okay, let me explain that hadith because you mentioned it a few times. Her silence equals her consent means that if you ask her and she does not object, and out of shyness she's quiet, then that is acquiescence.
Can children be shy or mute?
No, I'm not talking about
if
children.
If they're in a disturbing, I'm talking about children.
Yeah.
Because Aisha was a child. That's a fact.
Okay, that's what you're saying.
No, that's what the hadith is saying.
What is a child?
A child is somebody who's younger than 15 according to your religion.
Oh, so no, hold on. According to my religion, it's not actually that. I said to you. No. Let me explain. No, it's not true. There's no hadith like that.
Okay.
There's no hadith like that.
Okay.
There's no hadith like that.
No, there's no hadith like that. You heard on camera he said there was no hadith like that.
There's no hadith like that. It's from, as we said, a child stops being a child if one of 4 things happen.
There's no hadith like that. You heard him say that.
No, let me explain. Can I tell you what the 4 things are? Or do you want to
know? No, I'm listening to you.
Do you want to know or not?
Well, I'm going to read this out.
Do you want to know or not?
I'm going to listen. No, I want to know. I know. Go.
Because at the end of the day, we have to sharpen each other up. If this is the level of argumentation that you're coming with.
Hijab, you told me that there was no hadith mentioning that those younger than 15 are children.
There's no hadith like that.
That's what you told me.
There's no hadith like
so
that.
I'm showing you it.
It's not sahih. It's not authentic.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic.
Okay then.
Because that would have sealed the conversation. The fuqaha have already told you that childhood ends at one of 4 things. One of 3 things for a male and one of 4 things for a woman. The three things for a male are when there's hair, like pubic hair in the areas and so on. If they have a wet dream, or
okay, so this is Sahih Muslim, 1868. I've actually got a hadith.
And for the woman, it's menstruation. Yeah.
Right,
so these are.
Can I get to the point now and basically just destroy you on this point?
Please,
can I just do that?
Hold on, let me finish.
I mean, come on. I mean.
Let me finish.
You just lied to your own people.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
So let me just read this out.
Read the hadith.
Right. Sahih Muslim, 1868. The Messenger of Allah inspected me on the battlefield on the day of Uhud. And I was 14 years old.
Okay.
He did not allow me to take part in the fight. He inspected me on the day of Khandak, and I was 15 years old, and he permitted me to fight. Nafi said, I came to Umar bin Abd al-Aziz, who was then caliph, and narrated this tradition to him. He said, surely this is the demarcation between a minor and a major.
Yeah, what is?
A minor's being a child and a major's being someone who's older.
Yeah,
so he wrote to his strict governors that he should pay subsistence allowance to anyone who was 15 years old, but should treat those of less age among children.
Okay, let me explain.
Yeah.
So thank you. You said I was lying, you said I was wrong.
What you said, what you said
by your own scholars.
No, hold on, can I explain?
And it's Sahih Muslim, so it's not even Sahih.
What you said.
No, I've already finished this debate.
Okay.
But it is what it is.
Fine, you can leave if you like.
No, go ahead, Steve.
You're more than welcome to leave.
No, because you've already proven that you've lied. Basically.
Okay, so you said that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that anyone below the age of 15 is a child. The hadith didn't say that at all.
It literally says that.
No, it doesn't say that. 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 No, it doesn't. The hadith does not. The hadith does not. No, sorry, excuse me. Excuse me.
Seriously, I've already read it out twice.
Are you done?
Are you done? I've already read it out twice.
No, I'm not done. I haven't started yet, actually. So let me answer you.
Continue your point.
The hadith does not state, like you said on camera, and everyone can rewind it and play it and for their own leisure. Yeah, it doesn't say. The hadith does not say that the Prophet Muhammad said in his words that anyone below the age of 15 is a child. The hadith does not say that. All it says was that you had these two boys who one of them had reached the signs of puberty because of pubic hair and so on, and that there was an inference by Nafi' and others, which I already told you, seeped this way into the Maliki school, where they accepted that the upper limit for the age of a child is 15. In fact, if you say that the age of 15 is a child's age, then that would be in my favor, because I'll say to you then that would define
the hadith is quoting Muhammad.
Anyway, look, what I'm saying.
The hadith is quoting Muhammad.
He didn't say that, but anyone, what did he say? What did he say that?
I've read it out before. The Messenger of Allah inspected me on the battlefield on the day of Uhud, and I was 14 years old. He did not allow me to take part in the fight. He inspected me on the day of Kandak. I was 15 years old, and he permitted to fight. Nafi said, I came to Umar bin Abdul, who was then caliph, and narrated this tradition to him.
So where does it say the Prophet said anyone below the age of 15?
So what's the tradition, bro?
You just said that. Okay. Did you understand
who
this
gives
guy?
traditions in Islam?
Okay, you have.
Wouldn't that be Muhammad?
With all due respect, you have a comprehension issue here.
No, I don't.
With all due respect, because you said that the Prophet said something. Words.
This is what Muhammad's saying.
What did he say?
It's a tradition from him.
He didn't say anything in that hadith.
He said, surely this is a demarcation between a minor and a major. It's not Umar ibn
Nafi' said that.
No, it doesn't say nothing.
It does say that. Read it all again. Read it all again, my friend. No, hold on.
No, it says he came to Umar.
No, read the whole thing again.
Why am I reading it all again?
No, read it all again. Read it again.
The Messenger of Allah inspected me on the battlefield on the day of Uhud.
Yes.
And I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
He did not allow me to take part in the fight.
Yeah.
He inspected me on the day of Kandak, and I was 15 years old, and he permitted me to fight.
Yeah.
Nafi said, so he's talking about Nafi now. Yeah, fine. I came to Umar you're going to let me finish the thing. Al-Aziz, who was then caliph, and narrated this tradition to him. Who's the tradition from? Muslims, answer the question. Who's the tradition from?
Come on, please.
Answer the question. Who's the tradition from?
What tradition?
Where do you lot get your traditions from?
Listen, calm down a bit. Calm down, please.
No, Hijab. Where do you get your traditions from?
Calm down.
You get them from Muhammad. So Muslims get their traditions from Muhammad. So Muhammad was saying...
Okay, no, Muhammad didn't say anything in the hadith.
So where did this come from?
Okay, let me explain something to you, please. Yeah? Stop doing this. Just stop. You're showing your own desperation. You're desperado.
There is no desperation, bro. I'm reading what it says. Where do your traditions come from?
Let me explain something to you. For something to be narrated upon the Prophet ﷺ as something that he said, it would have to have key words. The words are like sami'atu, I heard from the Prophet, or qala, or he said. None of those keywords are there.
So why was this written down? Why was this written down?
Let me explain to you. This hadith, even in the English that you've read, does not say, for all the GCSE students that are doing English literature comprehension.
That's funny because you're not even GCSE level at this point.
Fine, I can talk about that, no problem.
It is what it is, bro. It's not my fault you don't understand what the tradition is.
I told my professors
in Islam you have tradition.
When they gave me a
most of your sources come from traditions.
What are your qualifications, by the way?
What's my qualifications? Yeah. Well, I'm a university student. I don't need to tell you the rest of that.
Okay, so you have not graduated yet?
No, I haven't.
All right, I've got 4 degrees.
That's fine.
So I'm higher than you, right?
That means nothing.
So why?
I didn't mean what?
No, you
it's
just
psychology.
Hold on.
That means nothing.
No, hold on.
You don't even know what I'm studying. I'm not going to tell you anyway. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
No,
what do you mean, excuse me? It has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
You just said I'm GCSE student level. So I have to prove to you that I'm not.
Well, come on, bring the degrees. You haven't even proved anything.
Okay, no problem. I'll bring them next time.
Okay, so now can we get back to the point?
Next thing is, we'll get back to the point.
Because we're just going on a
Since I've now put you in your place.
It says here.
Now,
you haven't put me anywhere.
Where did the Prophet say it?
He said.
Where did he say it?
He said, surely this is that. The other thing is your current state that you can divorce a child.
Fine. So that's immoral and therefore Islam is wrong.
Within the paradigm of Islam, it's okay to divorce children.
Therefore
you can marry children.
So your argument is, Islam is immoral. Fine. So your argument is Islam is immoral because of this, and therefore Islam is false.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's not the only reason why Islam is false.
No, fine, but it's one of the reasons, right?
Yeah.
So it's a falsifier of Islam. It's a disqualifier of the truth, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now I want to ask you a question. Since we've talked about Islam for a long time,
you haven't answered any more questions.
No worries. My question to you is as follows: if you look at the book of Numbers, chapter 31, verse 18. No.
You can
run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. It clearly states that you can take the young girls for yourself.
No, you can't.
Okay. The Babylonian Talmud, okay, which Jews believe.
I don't care about the Babylonian Talmud. I'm a Christian. You do know this. In fact, you said the early church fathers don't say that the spirit is consubstantial with the Father.
So what does it say?
Even I could debunk it that easily, mate.
What does it say about? If you look at Deuteronomy chapter 21, verces 10 to 14, it's also giving you general permission.
Deuteronomy 22 clearly says...
22, 21.
Well, I'm talking about 22 because they're all in the same context. Deuteronomy 22 says that you have to wait a month when you take a slave woman captive, not a slave girl, a slave woman captive. You have to wait a month. They have to pare their nails, and then they'll be ready for marriage. And if they're not
for sex.
Well, no, marriage.
Doesn't say
sex.
No, it doesn't say that.
Well, it does say that.
No, hold on.
I'll show you.
Go back to 31:18, which you ran away from. Very clearly, the Bible is telling you, that you can take the young ones for yourself after you've annihilated the battlefield. Now, if the general argument that he's put forward is that marrying prepubescents is something which disqualifies something from being the truth, then we've already explained.
Where does it say you can have sex with them?
Just let me explain.
You can explain what you want.
All right. Well, the Hebrew word that's mentioned is taf. Now, the word that you don't know the Hebrew language, you don't know the Arabic language. You don't know any language except for English.
I don't know any language apparently.
Except for English.
This is the intelligence of Islam right now.
Okay. Now let's look at the Hebrew. The Hebrew script in the book of Numbers, chapter number 31, verse 18, it refers to the young ones as taf. If you look at any lexicon of the Hebrew language, as per what the rabbis themselves in the Talmud have said.
What rabbis?
For example,
I don't care what some random rabbi said.
It's not random.
Go to my religion because I am a Christian,
all right, I'm
not
going to
a Talmudic Jew.
Okay, can I ask a question?
You keep bringing up these random heretics, they mean nothing.
The Old Testament is written in one language.
What do you mean? It's written in Hebrew.
Okay, great.
That means nothing.
Great. Now,
it means nothing.
It doesn't
Matthew
mean
wrote his gospel in Hebrew.
Oh, no,
so what you're saying means nothing.
Well, hold on. It means something because obviously for us to understand their book, the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible as the Jews call it, we have to read it in Hebrew.
We have to go
now,
to the
I'm saying to you,
you have to go to the Christian church to interpret the Christian Bible. I don't care about random Talmudic scholars. I don't care about them. They're heretics. They believe that Jesus died in excrement. I don't care what they believe.
No problem. Christian scholarship says the same thing, and I can get you references.
Which Christian scholarship says that Jesus died in excrement?
No, not that. I'm saying to you, Christian scholarship on this verse in chapter 31, verse 18.
Show me early church fathers.
Church fathers don't. Hold on. Did you say early church father?
Yeah, show me early church.
Hold on. Early church fathers, you will not find exegeses except for a few of the Old Testament by early church fathers.
That's something wrong. He's
so why you
wrong on that debate.
Hold on. The reason why is because you mentioned
No, you just said that.
So what's early? Whatever's early apostolic is correct.
No, I didn't say that. I said to you now, if you're asking me about an exegetical point, yes? Church fathers like Origin, well, no, he's not even a church father, Origin of Alexandria. He did actually write it. But even if
he wasn't a church father, he was a damn heretic. I'm just going to say it straight on camera.
Ecclesiastic church writer, whatever, other ones, Tertullian, others. Right. All of these church fathers, you will not find many of them delve deeply into the works of exegesis.
Irenaeus didn't, Ignatius didn't.
Only a few of them did. So you're asking me to find you, it's like asking me a tafsir of they haven't even done tafsir or exegesis.
The reason why is because they're early and apostolic.
Okay, so why are you asking me to get me that? You're asking me to give me an exegesis. They didn't even do exegesis on this.
It's like me asking you, did Ibn Kathir say this? And you believe Ibn Kathir is at least early enough to know the people that knew your prophet.
But if you ask me about...
Or Ibn Abbas, the ink of the Ummah, at least early enough to know the people who know your prophet.
I'm saying to you now, if you look at the Hebrew language, if you look at the verse, chapter 31, verse 18 of Numbers, you look at what words are used, which is taf, the young girls for yourself, lachem, young girls, taf, lachem. Have the young children for yourself. So you can have sex with the young children for yourself.
It doesn't say sex. Okay, so let's read it out. 31:8. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourself. What does it say? Women children. What's a woman children?
Women children, huh?
What's a woman children?
Numbers.
Women children, girls. That's what it means. No. Women children means girls.
Young women.
Yeah.
Young women.
Yeah, tough.
young women. You didn't hear what I said, did you? Young. It doesn't mean children. Young women. In fact, my Bible says that a girl who's 12 was a child.
What's your Bible?
It's this KJV.
Yeah, okay, fine. But if you look at, for example, there's more than one Bible. Yeah, so you have to once again look at the different translations.
Again, this is going off.
Nevertheless, let's go with yours. Let's go with yours. Let's go with yours. It says children there.
In the Bible, it says children. Luke's got. Allow me to finish.
So your God, talking about your God allows.
So it's not allowing me to finish, right?
Children.
It says in Luke, right, that a girl at the age of 12 was a young girl. That's why Jesus says, Tawfiya Kumi, young girl arise. She was a child at the age of 12. This is the Islam, this is not paedophilia.
All right, here we go. You believe that Jesus is part of the Trinity, correct?
Oh, why are we going on to the Trinity now?
Okay, no, I'm gonna relate it.
You literally just started talking about numbers 18.
Okay, do you not have a conversation? You made your point.
You're talking about numbers 18.
Are you scared of my response?
Why are you scared of numbers 18?
Are you scared?
Because I said it was
Are you scared of my response?
I'm scared of you at all, bro.
Your response is going to be a non-argument.
So look how many of you are needed.
No, but I'm going to say
No, he came over and said, I know he's
non-argument because God didn't instruct Moses to say that.
Okay.
So whether you say that was from God.
Okay.
So let me just debunk this right now. It says in Deuteronomy 22.
Can't debunk it.
No, it's easy. It's easy. Right. And Ezekiel 16.
Your God, you Jesus. Excuse me.
Have you heard of Ezekiel 16?
Your Jesus, who you believe is God, who's also the author of the Old Testament because it's part of the Trinity. He said to the people in Numbers 31:18,
Did he say
take
that?
the tough, the young girls.
Correct him, it was
young women.
Young
It was
girls.
Moses and it was young women.
Girls.
Young women.
Young girls.
Are you saying God said
It says
that?
young
Young
women.
girls.
Just
It
correct
says
him.
young women in the verse.
Rape them.
Read the verse.
Take them.
You are such a
Take
liar.
them for yourself.
You are such.
Take them for yourself.
Read
Such
the
a
verse
liar.
and
Take them for
correct him
yourself.
because he's lying.
Why you were literally lying? Why are you
Because God never said
How
that.
could your God allow this?
You are lying.
How could your
To
God allow
my
this?
face.
How could your God allow
He
this?
never said in the verse.
How could your God allow this?
Doesn't say that in the verse.
How could your God allow this?
Your God allows you to rape